their new AI shopping assistant, Rufus. Rufus, really? I'd like to first address the elephant in the room. Rufus. That's the name? Is this a bot from West Virginia? Was Rufus illegally selling moonshine from a still in Webster County holler?
Chad, are you being snobby? There's nothing wrong with the name Rufus. Some people love that name.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
Welcome back to the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your host, Chad. Don't mess with the Zohran Sowash.
And I'm Emmy. For God's sake, please don't take my job, Baradigo.
And I'm JT. I'm only doing ASMR to hide the bad news, O'Donnell.
No, we're not doing that this episode, JT. Not this one. Anyway, on this week's show, we're asking the questions. Questions like, could Paradox and Smart Recruiters convince their new sugar mama to go full Amazon, Indeed or LinkedIn? Who's going to win the job seeker bot wars? And why is Handshake copying Mercor? Hold on, kids. It's going to be one hell of a bumpy ride.
So you posted a new job ad. Now you can sit back and wait for the applications to roll in, right? That's why we built JobPixel. Imagine showing candidates why your company is great with real people, real stories, and real culture. With JobPixel, it's not just another job ad. It's an invitation to something much bigger.
Video gives you a 3 times better response rate. So instead of chasing after candidates, they'll be coming to you.
And with a 34% boost in conversions, candidates aren't just looking, they're applying.
And if you're worried about people clicking away, don't be. Our videos reduce bounce rates by 25%. That means they're watching, they're engaged, and they're interested.
282% more engagement. Yeah. You're going to need a bigger inbox.
Finding the right candidate is tough, but with JobPixel, it doesn't have to be. Show your company's authentic story, and the candidates will follow.
Let's make recruiting fun again, because honestly, it could use some help.
Do you want to see how JobPixel can save you time and money while achieving your KPIs? Schedule a demo today.
All right. Don't mess with the Zohran. For all those out there who aren't American or you've been holed up in a bunker for a while, on Tuesday night, the Dems got big election wins. Everybody on the show knows this, right?
Yep, 100%.
Okay,
I've been following.
Good.
New York in particular. Well, that was a big one, huh?
So Zohran Mamdani wins big with over 50% as New Yorkers vote him in as the next mayor of New York City. They had the biggest turnout, I think it was like in over 50 years. California Prop 50, the proposition that negates Texas gerrymandering bullshit, passed almost immediately with nearly 64% of the votes. Abigail Spanberger, who she won over 57% of votes for Virginia's governor race, and Mikey Sherrill wins New Jersey's governor race with over 56% of the vote. So, JT, what does this mean to you? And Emmy, does this mean anything to you?
Yeah, I think the turnout says a lot. I was saying before the show, I saw a stat recently that said depression is going to be the number one illness that we're going to be dealing with within 4 years.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me based on everything that I'm seeing. And I think this was people's opportunity to, voice and just feel like they had some kind of control over what was happening. So it'll be interesting to see the results of it, right? Like these individuals putting it into action, but definitely the people have spoken.
They did. They're 100% spoken. You asked me the question, does it mean anything to me? It does, because my cousin is from New York, and I was there recently. We were having a conversation about this, and that's when I first heard the name Zohran Mamdani. I was like, I don't know who that is. Let me Google him. And I was like, this guy's young. Is he ready for this job? Is he ready to take on, the likes of Trump? And so I started following him on TikTok and YouTube, and I just thought he was great. So I think what does it mean to me? I'm it means positivity. It means the beginning of change. It means the start of the Democrats pushing back. And so much so that he was actually my shout out for this particular week. Really because of his acceptance speech. I loved it. Did you hear the acceptance speech when he said to Trump, turn the volume up? Yeah. I was like, I haven't heard someone speak like this since like the Obama days, He was like, oh, I loved him. He was a scholar. So yeah, absolutely loved it. It does mean a lot to me.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. And I mean, what it says to me is that the Democrats are finally fucking paying attention. For decades, they've been talking to the American people like they are fucking Rhodes Scholars. And some of them are, some of them are, but their constituents are not, right? So they're talking to them about big things strategically using, quarter, sized words and all this bullshit. They're not talking down at the people's level about what they really give a shit about, right? Yeah. And this time, all of these candidates, they won so big because they started talking like human fucking beings. And Jesus, thank you so much. The question is, what are the Republicans going to do moving forward? Because this has always been their game plan. They've always literally just focused on one thing, and they literally beat it to death. But they do it in a very, very plain, old-fashioned way, right? What are they going to do now? How are they going to? Because especially when they're matched.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that because the studies really show that people that use monosyllabic words are more trusted. And the fact that people just don't recognize that and lean into it you're absolutely right.
Monosyllabic. That's 5 syllables, JT. I think that was about
what else do you want to call it?
Is irony.
1 syllable words. Okay.
Syllable words.
Yes. So they're definitely, we're seeing change. We don't know if this is going to spill over. We hope it spills over because again, the cool thing was, Mamdani really focused on one thing. You might not like all the different ideas that he has, like, the grocery stores and whatnot. Okay, fine. But his focus was 3 things: affordability. Yeah. He just nailed that. Right. And then you also saw Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill, and pretty much everybody was lining up right behind that. So that's to me, that's really fucking cool. Anything else, or JT?
Care about
what's that?
I was saying he's talking about what people actually care about.
Which is what politicians should do.
Yeah, it's like that. People are struggling. Even me going on holiday last, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, how expensive is this country now? It was not this expensive the last time I came to the States. And I'm thinking, how are people surviving? And these are the conversations I'm having with my cousin who lives in Manhattan. Like, how do you live here? She's on a good salary. I'm like, and she's struggling. So I don't know how other people are. So no, he was right. Affordability, that is what people care about.
Yeah. Well, JT, you were talking about job numbers. How many jobs have we lost?
So we've lost over 1 million jobs this year. It's now surpassing the losses of 2020 during the pandemic.
Wow.
And the problem is, and we've been saying all along, the numbers were never properly presented. So this problem's been going on for a while, but the fake numbers for a really long time hid the reality. Now you add the inflation, the cost of things, and the sheer volume of people that have been unemployed for an exceptionally long period of time. Yeah. And talk about it really hurting, right? Like really, really hurting. And so, I don't think I've ever seen it this stressful. Social media is such a great pulse for that, the way people talk and what they react to. And it's bad. And unfortunately, we're in layoff season, right? Like we're not done. We got 2 more months here and they're coming.
Here at the Chad and Cheese Podcast, one thing that we love is obviously you watching, but also like and subscribe. Breathe, and
is it time for shout out?
Emmy's already given her. She's just blown right past it. That's fine. So go ahead, JT. What's up?
Yeah. So I'm going to give a shout out to my 2 new buddies.
Nice.
Mike Peditto and Brandon Jeffs. I was at LinkedIn Talent Connect a couple weeks ago. They were there, and everybody knows I hate going to events like that alone. Both of them found me, and we connected and just had a lot of good laughs. And it just felt good to meet other people in the industry that are doing that kind of influencer content thing. So I told the guys I'd be shouting them out today. And I'm really excited to talk about it. I will tell you, That conference was insane. I left with my brain just fried with information, and I know we're going to get into a lot of it today, but man, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
It really is. There is a ton happening. I think the hardest part for us in many cases, because everybody's saying AI and everything, it's kind of like it's like all melding together, and you don't know what is fucking what, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the hard part. And we'll definitely get into that. My shout out is to Indeed. Yeah, that's right. Recruits, Indeed's parent company, their quarterly results came out this morning, and just a teaser. Next week, we're going to dig into a new term Indeed as Recruit has come up with, average revenue per job posting, and Indeed's bid to continue squeezing the life out of customers with growth through double-digit price increases. So stay tuned. And we've got a special thing for free stuff today. Neither one of you have to actually deal with free stuff.
I like free stuff
because we have a special.
Hi everybody, it's me, Stephen McGrath, and I'm here to tell you all about how you can grab some free stuff from chadcheese.com. Now, you might be wondering why I'm sitting here topless, and the answer is really simple, because I've not grabbed my free t-shirt from App at chadcheese.com yet. Let me fix that. Right, that's better. So, I'm sporting a slightly vintage model here, but of course there are new and updated designs every year, and those are super soft, breathable, and some might even say huggable.
If you're creepy.
Now, what else can you get? Of course, you can get some craft beer. It's not just any regular rubbish beer. That's craft beer brought to you by the data geeks at Aspen Tech Labs. And if you're not into beer too much, then 2 seconds. Just go and get that. Then, of course, you can always go for chicken cock, baby. 2 bottles of chicken cock from the good old people at Van Hat. Now, you're not going to get any of this stuff unless you go to chadcheese.com/free and try and get yours today.
And if you're not watching on YouTube, you just missed. First and foremost, Stephen was shirtless. Second, all the different costume changes. That was pretty amazing. So yes, that's the big surprise, guys. I know it probably wasn't that big of a surprise, although it was a load off of your free stuff shoulders.
Which is great. And he got the URL right. Like the fact that he got it right. I've never done it.
I don't know that he did that on his first try. So you never know. You never know. Okay, so we've got events coming out sponsored by Shaker Recruitment Marketing. And whenever we travel, we always take a little shaker with us. And if you're looking for experts in the recruitment, marketing, advertising, or even need tech experts to help you answer your questions on the regular, just visit shaker.com. Love those guys. Okay, so you've probably heard that the Chad and Cheese Roadshow is happening at 3 different locations. They're all RL 100 events, San Francisco, San Diego, and Dallas. The RL 100, for those who don't know, are small group sessions with high-level practitioners who are looking for answers and sharing best practices, all behind closed doors. So if you're a director, VP of talent acquisition, or chief people officer, you've got to be in the room where it happens. And yes, go fucking figure, we're going to talk about AI. That's in San Francisco on November 13th, San Diego, November 18th, Dallas on November 20th. Just go to chadcheese.com and click register right there in the hero image. Check out the speakers, the topics, all that other fun stuff. We're pretty stoked.
Nice.
And oh God, Joel loves doing this portion. I hate doing this portion, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yes, that's right. Let's get a quick fantasy football rundown brought to you by our friends over at Factory Fix. I do love Factory Fix. Number 1 this week, Mackenzie Maitland. She is holding on to that. Courtney Napo. Those two are just killing it. Joel Cheeseman. He's holding bronze right now. Jada Weiler, Stephen McGrath. He's a little bit better than half the pack. David Stifle, Megan Radigan, William Kerrigan at number 8. Chad Sowash sucking badly at number 9. Number 10, Ginger Dodds. Jason Putnam almost at the rear, and Jeremy Roberts still at number 12 at the rear. That's this week's fantasy leaderboard.
Way to go, ladies, though. Can we talk about 1, 2, and 4?
Oh, they're killing it.
Top 5. Let's go, girlies.
No, they are killing it. And Megan is at 7, I think. Well,
They're up there.
Ginger's right on my tail. So they're kicking ass and taking names. But guess what time it is?
Topics!
Oh, thank God. I love me some topics. Okay. Who's going full Amazon? That's the question. Could Paradox and Workday or Smart Recruiters plus SAP go full Amazon? What the hell am I talking about? So Amazon doesn't want you browsing anymore. That's right. They want you chatting. Their new AI shopping assistant, Rufus, really? Is already pushing customers into faster decisions, and Amazon claims it could drive 10 billion in incremental annual sales. This is AI commerce in real revenue terms, not hype, not future someday. We're talking about right now, kids. Amazon is automating discovery, collapsing the buyer journey, and turning conversation into conversion at massive scale. The big question is, can Workday leverage Paradox, or maybe SAP leverage Smart Recruiter to do the same thing on the hiring side of the house? Heighten quality and candidate conversion with better engagement through chat. JT, what do you think? Can we pull it off here? We've got the tools, but the question is, do you think Workday and SAP have the resources and also vision to pull something off like Amazon?
Okay. Well, I can't speak to whether or not I feel whether they specifically can pull it off, but the overall concept of can this be done is a big fat yes. I mean, It's amazing what we're already doing conversationally. And it's so obvious too, right? What do we do in traditional old school recruiting? We screen a bunch of resumes, and then what we do, we get on a call and screen and have a conversation with someone to decide if they should move on to a hiring manager. You're talking about creating that and being able to do it with thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people, and then taking that and sorting it. Whereas a human recruiter just could have never done that. So yeah, it has to happen. It's already happening. I've talked about LinkedIn Hiring Assistant. I was given access to it, full disclosure, 4 months in advance, to really play with it. And the fact that you have your own assistant that has a conversation is insane. And at any point in time, the person could be like, no, can you put me with human JT instead of assistant JT? But it's brilliant. It clears out so much. I mean, it's giving back hours and hours of time, And if that one tool is like that, our whole industry should be leaning into this. Give us options, right?
What do you think, Emmy?
I like the idea of it. Because I heard about Rufus a little while ago, haven't used Rufus myself. Wanted to know a little bit more about it. And on YouTube, they're going, the concept is great, but it's not fantastic. It's not finalized yet. But I agree, when it is finalized, because I think it's still in beta stage, it will be great. And it should be something that the rec tech industry should be leaning into as well. Because like you both said, people want to have conversations, but they want to have a conversation within one same ecosystem. So let's say, for example, I'm a candidate. Brilliant. I've applied for a job. I know nothing about the culture. I know nothing about the career prospects. I know nothing about the growth path with it for a particular job because it's not on the job description. If I can find that out on one platform rather than leaving to go to Glassdoor or Reddit, for example, that's going to make my whole job hunting experience just a little bit more frictionless. I don't want to go to multiple platforms just to find the same answers. And yes, in an ideal world, it'll be better to speak to a human. But in the absence of a human in the first instance, or if we're short for time, I can just type in my question and you give me the answer anyway. And like JT said, when I want to speak to a human, if I feel the need to speak to a human, I can say, hey, switch me over. You haven't quite answered this question. So I think it's brilliant.
So I'd like to first address the elephant in the room. Rufus. That's the name. Is this a bot from West Virginia? Was Rufus illegally selling moonshine from a still in Webster County holler?
Chad, are you being slutty? There's nothing wrong with the name Rufus. Some people love that name.
All the Rufus fans are going to come at you now.
I think it's a much more European name, or at least an English name, than it is an American name. But anyway, all good. All good.
Dogs get named Rufus in the U.S.
Yeah, there are a lot of Rufus. Yeah, Rufus puppies. Yes. Before we get into Paradox Smart Recruiters, I'd like to say that I was totally fucking gobsmacked by Compass Group, who was on stage with us at RecFest. Shay and the team over at Compass Group saved $1.5 million in 6 months just by focusing on candidate conversion on their career site and taking it from 1% to 12%. And this was using Paradox and Dahlia. If you missed that episode, it's called How Compass Group Reduced Job Board Spend. Give it a listen. So Paradox are smart recruiters right out of the gate. I think a shortcut, an easy button just to get to conversion faster, go by Dahlia. That's a good start, right? And then a quick LinkedIn comment, because I actually asked the CEO, friends of the show, CEO Adam Godson and also Rebecca Carr, their thoughts on this. And Adams he's the CEO of Paradox. The idea here is that conversational AI is UI that gives better results and that customers/candidates like. I think the results are in, and just like it has driven more results in shopping, it has also with candidates. We definitely look forward to continuing to scale at Paradox. But then we asked Rebecca, what do you have to say? So Rebecca is the CEO of Smart Recruiters. Her quote, Amazon's Rufus shows what happens when intelligence becomes invisible. I love this. The biggest business shift here, not in retail, it is in behavior. Once AI starts handling context and intent, humans stop navigating systems and they start just simply making decisions, right? In talent and hiring, that means moving from searching and filtering to simply asking and acting. That is the real impact and a no ego UI. Work that feels faster, smarter, and more human, end quote. I agree 100%. And I also, if you take a look at what's going on, Google has infused Chrome with Gemini, their browser, right? What's OpenAI doing? What's Perplexity? They're all building browsers, right? But these are browsers that are fed and fused with this AI. So much like Amazon is doing, we're seeing all companies do these in their respective areas. To me, and I've been saying this for years now, and it drives me crazy. Everybody's like, well, how's the recruiter going to use it? They're not. It's going to be happening behind the scenes. A recruiter shouldn't have to touch all these points. That's why it takes so goddamn long. That's why we can't scale, right? So much like Rebecca said and Adam said, we've already proven this works. I'm just excited to see him get there. How about you guys?
Yeah. I agree. I think recruiters are going to figure out fast that they're going to do the parts of their job they love the most. They're going to have more time to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Build those relationships.
Yep.
Find those, honestly, purple squirrels, right? Like it's just, you have to be leveraging that technology to be able to spend your hours doing the quality work that's going to fuel your brain and your creativity. So you think about the possibilities once you get over that. And it's amazing to me how many recruiters are still hanging on. Like, I have my spreadsheet of Boolean searches that took me 2 decades to build. And if somebody comes in right now and I'm sorry, like that, I know that was like a massive asset for you, but overnight that became, irrelevant. And so people have just got to recognize it and lean in and find their way.
Yeah. And I think the newer recruiters coming in, they're the ones who recognize it because they don't know any different. For them, it's just easy to adopt. Old school recruiters, well, if you don't adopt, you don't have a job very soon.
Well, in this case, there's no adoption because it's happening behind the scenes.
Well, exactly.
I think everybody who is saying, AI isn't going to take your job, a human using AI is going to take your job. That's step one. Step two is, guess what? The bots are going to take your job. You're training the AI to do your job, right? So all those people that are you have to take a look at what they're invested in, because I almost fucking guarantee you they have a lot of investment in NVIDIA and a lot of the other AI companies that are out there. So they don't want you to think that your job's going to be taken. we have to take a look at transformation, what this is actually going to do, how quick we can get through that kind of like that transition portal. That's the biggest key. As JT had said, we have already lost 1 million jobs this year, right? We cannot afford to lose more jobs due to AI. So how do we actually get through that transition period in a very quick fashion instead of years, which it usually takes? How do we do it in weeks and or months? That's the big key. But for me, what Rebecca said, this is something that's happening behind the scenes. You don't even have to touch it. It's not just for the candidate and their journey. It's for the recruiter and their journey. They don't even have to know it's happening there. Mm-hmm. And then what Adam said, it's already working, kids. It's been working for years. So yes, this is going to happen. JT?
I just want to mention a stat that I heard. Lee Hecht Harrison had it in a presentation at the conference. 61% of employees in the US, I think it was 69 in Europe, by the way, I mean, even higher, said that they are just waiting for their employers to tell them what skills they should learn next. They're like, yeah, you want to learn AI? You want just tell me what to do. They're just sitting there. That apathy, that mindset that my employer who pays me is supposed to figure that out. That is one of the biggest problems we have. And if you don't believe me, there is a book everyone should read. It's called Punished by Rewards. The problems with, listen to this, the problems with praise, incentive plans, A's, and other bribes. And this guy, Alfie Kohn, in 1993 predicted that this extrinsic model motivator that we're building in our society was going to ruin us. He's not wrong. Like, people are just sitting around. They can't think for themselves. They don't see it. They're not trying. They just want to be told what to do. So, I mean, this is going to be a really interesting time as we see people fumble to be curious, right? To be proactive. So that's a warning bell for everybody out there.
Yeah. I think from a societal standpoint, companies used to care about developing their employees. Not many do now. Not many do, right? So those individuals that are sitting back and waiting, that's a problem because there's no real financial incentive like there used to be to develop your employees, to retain your employees, right? There used to be incentives, tax incentives for that. Those went away, right? So now the company focuses on one thing, right? Shareholder value. Shareholder value. That has nothing to do with you as the employee, right? Other than, taking the bad end of the whip. That's pretty much it. So I agree. I mean, it's the apathy piece. And unless we actually start to get politicians in place that start to focus on getting us nudged back over to having a shared responsibility between the company and the employee, because it's not right now, right? It's not a shared responsibility. Your career, your path, your life at this organization. Right now, it's like we're all fucking disposable, which I think we should go back to ASMR. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all going to be okay.
All right, kids. We've got LinkedIn versus Indeed on this next segment. So listen, and if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do that. Do that now. As a matter of fact, why don't you share, like, and subscribe? Because our favorite Sunday morning character always used to say, sharing is caring.
At Shaker Recruitment Marketing, our comprehensive services include branding, talent attraction, MarTech, and analytics, empowering you to achieve your recruitment marketing goals. We believe in doing things the right way, delivering the right message through the right activation, achieving the right conversion. For us, business is deeply personal. Our legacy is built on relationships. Together with our people, clients, and partners, we've been shaping the world of talent for over 70 years.
I think we'll cover speed and hiring.
Did somebody say speed? Then buckle up, boys. You're about to learn how to hire fast.
Who is that?
Veti Betty. From Veti, the hiring acceleration platform. Come on, man, keep up. What's up, Betty?
Hey Chad, Veti makes high compliance hiring easy. Background checks, licensing verifications, and health screenings, all in one place. Real-time updates, no red tape, and no delays. Hiring managers can move fast, stay smooth, and close the deal.
So they just sit back and watch. Hell, I could watch this all day.
That's right. Relax, enjoy the view, and don't lose the hire. It's that simple. With Veti, it's all taken care of before they can even catch their breath.
Best lesson ever.
Class dismissed, boys. Veti. Hiring as it should be. Visit veti.co to learn more.
All right, LinkedIn versus Indeed. Oof, AI isn't just about a buzzword anymore. It's about an arms race. From Indeed FutureWorks to HR Tech, LinkedIn Talent Summit, RecFest, and Unleash Paris, every major stage hammered the same message. AI is now the primary driver of the recruiting transformation that's happening. The platforms, the workflows, the roles, and the business models are shifting fast. The only question left, who weaponizes AI better, faster, and actually wins? So let's talk about the bigger platforms. LinkedIn just unveiled their hiring assistant, which JT's been playing with for a while now. And Indeed has been pushing its talent scout for weeks now. So I guess the big question, who's going to win, JT? Your thoughts?
Yeah. So right now, based on what I know, I would say LinkedIn's going to win. And the reason for that is that the hiring assistant is excellent. I've worked with it, but it's only as good as its data set, right? So when you think about 1.1 billion profiles on LinkedIn, all of which have not been optimized for AI, for hiring assistant, that then becomes their challenge. Now, the upside, I believe, is they have profiles. LinkedIn hasn't been training people to be on there. Like, they've got people uploading resumes, whereas LinkedIn is really, for better or for worse, called itself a social platform so that people have had this platform engagement. But here's where it gets the breakaway moment, in my opinion. Last week, they announced 360 Brew. And this is the biggest algorithm update they've had in a very long time.
360 Brew.
360 Brew. You're drinking the brew. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
You're drinking the brew.
Gotcha.
And
the Kool-Aid in this case.
And the reason for that is they have figured out how they want to reward behavior so that you will show up in the search results for recruiters. And so what they are trying to take down, and I am here for it, are all those cringy posts like, well, I was walking through the woods today. Here are 7 things I thought about when it comes to project management. Or, well, I was baking my cake. I realized this about finance. Like, stop. This is not TikTok. This is not Facebook or Instagram. Okay. So come share your knowledge. This is your career asset library. And the algorithm is going to reward you when you talk about your industry and your skill sets and the 3 key areas that you are strongest at solving problems for. They've made it so clear in this blueprint. And if you just start doing this, and if you do, and a little hint, everybody, I teach everybody something called a document streak. If you know about streaks in social, it's where you don't skip a day. It is so easy to build a document streak on LinkedIn right now to game that algorithm that it's a sin if you don't do this. Like, you're just going to rise to the top of the search results. And I've been teaching people this, and it literally, they're like, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe what job I just got offered that's not posted anywhere. I'm like, yeah, because nobody wants job boards anymore. It's like broken. It doesn't work. So we're going to have to build a way where candidates, document themselves on an ongoing basis, what they're learning, what they're doing, so that we can find them. And to me, that is super exciting because I'm seeing it work already. So, that's why I see them as the breakout. I'm curious to hear what you think about when it comes to Indeed and if they're doing the same things. But the fact that they dropped this algorithm that's going to literally get 1.1 billion people to do this is fantastic.
Dig it. Emmy?
Yeah, so to be honest, I don't know too much about the 360 algorithm. Is it 360 Brew algorithm?
360 Brew. Yep.
360 Brew. Okay, but I'm listening to what you're saying, and it does sound fantastic because there is a lot of crap that people are posting on their LinkedIn. And it's true, LinkedIn, it is turning into X, it is turning into Instagram and Facebook. And I'm fed up of people like writing rubbish, like you said, this is what I've learned about, recruiting or leading people from walking down the street or a fight that happened. It's like, no, that's rubbish. It's like,
so beyond the rubbish, what about the chatbots? I mean, they're both leaning heavy into the chatbots. Thoughts around that? Because that's really where I think they're looking for even more engagement.
They are. Sorry, go on, JT. Go on.
I would just say that I don't know a job seeker that is like, I don't want to talk to the chatbot. If they can get an answer right now, like you were referring to earlier, I mean, if I can have a conversation with the bot and it's programmed to give me all the answers I want, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. Nobody has an issue with that, especially if they can say, okay, I'm not getting the answer I want. Can you send me to a human? You know, and I think that's built into that very nicely. People are sick of being ghosted. People are like, if you don't know how to play the rules of engagement, you break them. And we see that this year with people creating fake AI resumes and then using AI tools to spam ATS systems. Like they literally crashed because they didn't know how to do it correctly. I think these companies are putting guardrails in place for both sides to bring them together. And that's exciting to me.
Yeah. What I would say, just going back to the LinkedIn hiring assistant, I've had a play around with it. I do really like the tool as well. I think it's fantastic. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a game changer. So if we're talking about who's going to win between LinkedIn and Indeed, from my point of view, I will still back LinkedIn in this situation.
So yes, everybody knows I fucking hate LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, Indeed. I hate them both. It's so hard. I mean, LinkedIn first and foremost has better data, period. Yeah. Better engagement, the type of engagements, those types of things. LinkedIn is what you would call a lifestyle platform. Not for everybody. For many people, though, they get on LinkedIn, they share. It's social media, right? Indeed's not. Indeed's not a lifestyle platform. Indeed is around for one purpose and one purpose only. Oh shit, I need a job, right? Which means LinkedIn has huge advantage there because not only do they have all of your profile information, and Indeed will have literally your like 1 or 2 pager resume, right? Big fucking deal. LinkedIn has this verbose, in most cases, profile about you. Not only that, about what you post, what you care about, your thoughts, all those things. So being able to contextualize and use that into a conversational AI, I think is the biggest key, and LinkedIn wins that. But if you're an enterprise company, you should be focusing on the Amazonification, I just came up with that, of your entire ecosystem. Better candidate journeys through conversational AI. We just talked about, again, applicant tracking systems like Paradox and Smart Recruiters, and the list goes on, right? You should be able to build better candidate journeys through conversational AI, better conversion rates. I mean, again, we talked about Compass Group with Dahlia. $1.5 million in 6 months, right? And all you're doing literally is converting the people that are already coming to your website. Your high bounce rates are killing you today, kids. Not to mention not using your resume database that you've already spent millions, depending on how big you are, could be billions on creating. Your company should be building a Rufus, not that name, find a different name, but for lack of better names, of course, and get to it yesterday, because that is, I believe, the future of where companies win. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be on these external walled gardens like Indeed and LinkedIn, right? Not primarily. Primarily, you want to have your own walled garden. Mm-hmm. And you want to be able to have conversational AI in it. You want to be able to have matching in it. And you want to be able to also provide that to the talent that already works for you, for upward mobility, for the prospect of promotion and training and development and all those different things. So I think of the two, LinkedIn definitely gets the win because they've got better data. They've got more data. They've got more interaction. They are a lifestyle platform, but overall, candidates care about the brand. They care about the source of truth. LinkedIn is not the source of truth. Indeed is not the source of truth. Your website, your company is the source of truth. So hopefully companies will start really focusing on getting that put together and doing more of that. We've seen big companies do it, save a shit ton of cash, get better conversion, get to talent faster. And that's what everybody wants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. So going to move on. Last week we talked about Mercor. And this week we're going to ask, why is Handshake going to pivot like Mercor did. So they're two totally different companies, and they're having the exact same holy shit, AI is eating everything moment. Handshake, the former college career fair mall kiosk of the internet, suddenly realized that entry-level job market was basically a ghost town and said, screw Goldman Sachs rotational programs, kids. You're going to train AI models now. They spin up Handshake AI, slap a up to $100 an hour on a landing page, and overnight they become a temp agency for LLMs. Mercor, on the other hand, again, we talked about them last week. They went from AI recruiting platform to we supply the humans that make Skynet smarter in record time. I'm not sure you can call what Mercor did a pivot. I mean, they went Smokey and the Bandit on this thing, full throttle Trans Am, Burt Reynolds mustache in the wind, Coors Banquet in the back seat, and suddenly they're at a $10 billion valuation because they are supplying the humans that make Skynet smarter. And for me, that is, give me 1 second. I've got to play this. You got to have some of that. That's a little Mercor, and Handshake just wants a little piece of that. They just want a little piece of that. What do you guys think? Emmy?
Okay, so question for you, because I heard you say that they've done a complete pivot. Is that true? Is that they're no longer doing what they were doing before and then totally invested in Handshake AI?
Well, what had happened about a month or so ago, they laid off 100 people. Okay. And the CEO, I think, actually made a comment or a post on LinkedIn that they were going to pivot hard into AI. Okay. So will they abandon their current revenue model and clients? I don't think so. But I think what they're going to do, what they're looking to do, is they're trying to get some of that Mercor juice, that Mercor cheese, because Mercor got $35 million on top of what they already had just because they made this pivot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so what's my opinion? I see nothing wrong with pivoting, and it looks like Handshake has, noticed they're taking advantage of something and they are rolling with it. And what they're taking advantage of is the fact that, like you said, the early careers job market is rubbish. We've got so many people graduating, even people who are graduating from computer science, degrees, whereas in the past that was a sure foot into a job. They're finding that they're having a tough time getting jobs at the moment. And I don't think that's really changing anytime soon. And particularly when more and more companies are adopting technology, adopting AI, those lower level entry jobs will start to disappear more and more. So if you've got a pool of candidates sitting there, entry level candidates sitting there, why not use them to train up models? Why not do that? And for the grads, especially those who don't come from a technical background, because to train up these models, you don't need to be a computer science or a tech graduate. You can come from music or pharmacology or, chemistry. You can still use your domain expertise to train up those, the AI models. So I think it's a great opportunity for employers like Handshake. I think it's great for graduates who are looking to get into a job, who maybe felt that a pathway into AI is actually not there for them. And they're getting paid well. Some of these, not all of these jobs are paying that well, but some of them are going up to like $160 per hour, depending on the role. So I see lots of positives from that point of view. What I'm not too sure is whether long term there is a viable career path. What happens next? Once you've done an AI trainer role, what happens next? Now, it could be that they learn AI skills, which is actually going to open up AI adjacent roles like, AI ethicist, for example, or AI product manager. Maybe that will come down the line. But that's where my, I suppose, worry about where this type of role can actually lead to for graduates.
JT?
Yeah. If you go back and listen to some of the, probably 4 or 6 months ago, we were talking about take some of your money, right now before things get bad and invest in other things. And I think Handshake just made the extreme and said, yeah, this model isn't going to work anymore. So let's not sink into it. Let's cut our losses and let's pivot. I'm proud of them. I think more companies in our space need to own that right now. There's a lot of companies that I've talked to in our space don't know where they're going next, know that they are in something that's dead or dying. And you need to cut and pivot. Like, it's unfortunate. And I don't like saying this because it means people lose their jobs. However, this pivot gave people jobs. And to Emmy's point, is it likely something that'll be there forever? No, but you know what it's giving them? Context. Initial work experience, and a way to understand where AI is going so that they can then start to think for themselves, as I mentioned earlier, which people have not been doing, and start to think about, okay, what would I really want to do with my time and energy? What's really interesting to me is the two generations that are suffering the most, in my opinion, in this whole AI disruption are millennials, and then to some extent Gen Z, these college educated individuals who were just trained on this idea that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get all these great jobs. Gen Alpha, they're already entrepreneurs. They're already so leaned in to figuring out how to make money on their own and be independent. That I think the harder thing will be is as things shift it back, trying to get them to take full-time jobs will not be an option. They are truly going to be like, no, we can partner, but I'm not going to be your bitch. Like just how it's going to go with that generation. The middle generations are looking for still hanging on for the full-time job with salary and benefits. So that group is at least getting something, and it gives that company time to make a little money and figure out what it can do next. And I think to me, that is a beautiful example of survival, right? And they'll thrive. So I'm fingers crossed for Handshake.
I think both are basically saying the quiet part out loud. They're not building candidate pipelines anymore. They're training the robots that will eventually replace many candidate pipelines.
Yeah.
The thing for me is between Mercor and Handshake is Mercor is going after the more experienced and talented segment, right? Yep. And the big question is, do you want that segment training your AI, or do you want college kids training your AI, right? I don't think there's really a choice, to be quite frank. I don't want a college kid doing it. Yeah, just got out, just did a lot of learning, and that's awesome. But to be quite frank, I want somebody who's been, had the feet on the street. So, I mean, my prediction for these two companies, Mercor, first and foremost, they've taken 133.6 million. Handshake has taken 434 million. So here's the thing that we're seeing from many, many companies that are out there. As you slap AI on it, you do something like this, you're starting to run out of runway. You need to do something quickly, right? So the big question is, will VC look at this, or will PE look at this and say, oh yeah, we'll give you more money. You threw AI on top of this and you got to pivot. Personally, I don't think so. I think it's going to turn out to be something like pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Okay, so we're gonna enjoy a quick break after that, and we're gonna allow the unicorn to die in peace. But on the other side of this, we have a little bit of Disneyland with Stephen Bartlett coming up. So go ahead, take a listen to this next quick ad from our lovely sponsors, and we'll be right back. Stephen Bartlett, man, if you haven't heard of this guy's name, you haven't paid attention. Yeah. He just raised Disney level money to turn creators into pretty much an IP amusement park. Mm-hmm. Mickey better start doing reps. The influencer industry complex just unlocked boss fight mode, right? Bartlett says Steven.com, believe he got Steven.com, is the creator holding company built to help high potential creators grow their audience, build IP, commercialize after their work, launch ventures, and provide the technology to power it all. If you're an aspiring creator, please do get in touch. And he also said, my ultimate ambition is to build the Disney of the creator economy. JT, Disney of the creator economy. Does that mean influencer theme parks? I'm so confused. I'm so confused right now.
No, but I think it goes back to the thing I've been harping on in this every time I'm on here about the ecosystem that's being built. Like, we're so busy watching everything burn and people get laid off that we don't understand there's a massive economy that everybody's making money in. And and he sees it. I certainly see it. I see it as the hope and the future. You think about it, it truly is a second renaissance. It's just a digital renaissance. You're talking about a time where people could nerd out and learn anything they want to learn, document the journey, and make money doing it. And that is real. And so, him leading into this is great. I was a big fan when I heard this come out. I got beta and signed up for Flightcast, which is one of the multiple properties under this. What Flightcast did is we launched a podcast from 0 followers. It has automated the distribution. It's video, so it has to be a video podcast. But then it takes the podcast and automatically clips it, distributes it onto YouTube Shorts, and then allows me to distribute it across platforms. I love being part of it. Steven, you're amazing. Rox, who runs Flightcast, you're amazing. But I will be honest, it's not without its flaws. We've certainly, from the beginning, working with them, there's been tech glitch after tech glitch, which I am happy to patiently work through with them because I see the potential as they fix these things that we're running into as someone who, makes their living running a company that does this as well. So, it's exciting what he's doing. I think you have to go in and go, it was brilliant of him to say, I'm going to do the Disney of course, that kind of immediate mental, he's a genius to say that, right? Because we get talking about it. If he'd used monosyllabic words, if he'd talked over everybody's head, it wouldn't have worked. But instead, he's really got it down to earth. And that's what makes him really great at what he does. So I have a lot of faith in it. I think it's going to be super interesting. And honestly, where people should be looking, because there's going to be a lot of really cool jobs that come out of that space.
Yeah. Emmy, are you ready to join Steven?
Yeah, I love Steven Bartlett. I've been watching him since the Dragon Den days when he just joined. I was like, look at this little young pup. Now look at him taking over the world. I know. So I do. I know he's kind of fucked up sometimes, in the last year with that kind of health stories that he's been promoting. But if I put that aside, I think what he's doing is actually great. And I think what he's doing is actually smart. And I can see how, this kind of relates to the kind of employment of the future, because it sounds just like a media story. And when I first read it, I was like, oh, it's a media story. I didn't really think too deeply about it. But when I took a step back and came back to it, I was like, actually, this is more than a media story. This is a talent story. This is actually going to change hiring in the future. Because when you think about the new startups in the future, they are actually going to be individuals. They're going to be creators. They are the ones building teams. They're the ones hiring producers, for example, editors, marketers, data analysts, product people. They are the employers of the future. And they're going to be now running small teams, doing all these individual jobs that used to just be a one-person show in the past. So with Steven.com coming on board, they're scaling this whole kind of enterprise up, this Disney-like enterprise that it's trying to build. So yeah, is it a business in a traditional sense in what we're seeing at the moment? Not necessarily, but is it going to be the type of business, a new kind of employer that we're going to see in the future, that creator-led enterprise that's tied to your personal IP? Yeah, 100%.
So we've been podcasting since 2017, right? Chad and Cheese. And have a radio background. So I was lucky I kind of had some shortcuts to get in, understood format, a lot of different things, right? Production, very lucky just to have the kind of background and friends and connections that I have. The thing that gets me is Joel and I have had conversations. We did have conversations about starting a network, right? And then we started to work with different networks. And we saw that it was hard as hell. I mean, it was literally like herding cats. I mean, it is. It's not easy. And so we focused on us, right? bringing other people in, having different voices as a part of the show, but being able to literally start up something like this is a huge, huge initiative.
Yeah.
And that's why he needs the money, right? You have a lot of these networks who they don't have the cash. Their whole business model is on future revenues, right? Which many are built that way. The hard part is being able to do that when you're herding cats the entire time. It's so hard. A name like Stephen Bartlett, probably the vetting process as well is also something that's probably good for him. But I also have to say, for all those kids that are out there who want to do this, Bartlett purchased a mic back in 2017, back when we started, right? And the Diary of the CEO has more than 13 million subscribers, 70 million monthly views, and over 1 billion views on YouTube, according to this news release. 2017, kids, it takes work. Back in the day when Hillary Clinton says it takes a village, I just kind of like, what the hell does that mean? Now, being a little bit older, a little bit more mature, I fucking get it, right? It does. You can't do this by yourself. You need help. You need a network. You need experts to be able to get you where you need to be, which is one of the reasons why I love having JT on the show, because she does this as well. So your thoughts, JT?
Yeah, no, I guarantee you he's building the thing he wished he had in 2017. If you think about it, and I know how he feels. It just, once you do this for a living and you see the rewards, not just financially, but honestly, professionally, the way it challenges your brain, the people you get to talk to, the opportunities that you have. Look at the one I'm on right now, And so that to me is exciting. He feels that same way. And he is really just trying to build something that will enable way more people to do this. And I actually think that's important because we've stopped networking, right? Like when you have remote work and all of this, how are we going to get people collaborating and thinking and doing together? And again, I think it's what he's building that will give people that opportunity. And so, I'm really here for it. I want to see it succeed. I do.
During going remote, I've been remote since 2012. That actually made me want to network even more, especially, on LinkedIn and whatnot. And the connections that I had, making those stronger because I wasn't in an office. So, I think it really depends on kind of like the mindset that you're working with. And a lot of, let's say millennials and even Zs, they didn't have to do the, full-time office, 5 or 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever the hell it was. So yeah, it's interesting to watch this metamorphosis, not just with, obviously from boomers to X's to millennials to Z's, and then next alphas, but we're obviously going to continue to see change. And I think we're going to see at least more and more and more people try to do this podcasting thing, this content thing.
Yep.
But they're going to need help to be able to get there because, most of them die. Most podcasts die within 6 to 10 episodes. It's not easy.
True.
It's not
That's
easy.
true. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time, believe it or not. Joel's not around, still doing the dad joke. This one's going to be more Thanksgiving style. What do you get when you cross a turkey with a centipede? What do you get when you cross a turkey with a centipede? Anyone?
No idea.
Drumsticks for everyone.
I don't get it.
You totally have to get it.
Do I?
A centipede has all the legs.
Yeah.
Legs are drumsticks. Oh. All right. So that's another one in the can. Thanks, Emmy, thanks for waking up on this one. JT. That's another one in the can. We out. Later, guys.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know, and yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar, blue, nacho, pepper jack, Swiss. So many cheeses, and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!